Hey everyone, it's Katrina from Om Shanti Yoga Studio. Apologies for being quiet the last 2 Mondays. One of the Mondays I had to take my son down to Brisbane for some testing, so the Monday was a bit of a wipeout. And the other Monday I was actually unwell, so it's been a couple of mishaps the last few Mondays, so I do apologise. I wanted to take a moment to discuss a crescent lunge, which I think we covered a little bit. I covered a little bit in prior Modification Mondays in respect to being able to modify from a high lunge to a low lunge by lowering the knee. But I guess I wanted to discuss this evening more a crescent lunge where we come into a twist. So pardon me, I'm just going to come over onto the mat. So I'm talking a crescent lunge where we're placing a hand down and drawing up the other hand. So I wanted to discuss what I see often in class, and that is a rolling over of the shoulder or curving of the spine here, and it's more often seen in a high crescent lunge. I'm probably going to face this way I'll face this way. So quite often you'll see the feet really close together and people putting the hand down and then trying to do this, which is really quite compacting on the body and on the joints, and is not really great alignment. So this is where it's really important to know your body. If it doesn't feel right, if it feels like you can't, feel a little bit of openness and lightness in the body is the best way I can find to describe it, and you're feeling like you're compacting or jamming, maybe looking at some options. So obviously, as I said, we discussed lowering the back knee as an option to modify, and then coming into correct alignment from there. So correct alignment would be making sure that this front knee isn't like this. It's no good for the ankle and the knee, so we want to walk the foot out here. So maybe it's stacked and maybe it's walking out a bit. Avoiding this where we're sinking into the hips. We're not aiming for that. We want to have a bit of a switch on here, so there's this little bit of a hug in and activating of internal and external rotation through the hips here. But again, even in this pose, we can use a block to help open through the chest and through the shoulders. So I'll come back to this side so you can see what I mean. So the block comes under the hands. Now the block can go flat like this onto the earth. It can go this way, maybe this way, making sure that the block you've got is quite a heavy block and not a real light and spongy block, because you don't want it falling and then you're hurting yourself that way. So by placing the block down, we want to have the block under the wrist under the shoulder. You can then start to create more space to open into this other rib cage. So here I've got my left rib cage open up and I'm not like hunching down like this and folding. So it creates space, it creates that ability then to open. So maybe you can come open this way rather than having the legs really close together and then attempting this, which is really not good on the body. So maybe beginning this pose by keeping the knee lowered. When we come into this twist, grab yourself a block. Come into the pose to begin with the back knee down. You can always look at tucking that back foot, then lifting to avoid this folding forward, which is not really good for the body. So thank you for sharing this time with me, and I hope you found that helpful. If there's anything that you didn't understand as I explained, and wanting to know a little more why, besides feeling it in your own body, we're really trying to protect the joints. With a vinyasa class, it can be quite fast at times, and if you're not mindful of the body, you can start to just want to get into the pose because that's what's being instructed, rather than thinking about what's safe for your body. So any questions, feel free to type them on Facebook, or you can message me personally, or if you come to classes, you can ask me in class, but keep your body safe. Don't feel that because one person next to you is doing one thing that you need to be doing that as well. Hope to see you in class soon. Have a fantastic night. Namaste.